Hello, everybody. Reggie Time here, and today we're going to have a quick catch up on what's been going on my poker week to date, and play a short session of 10L Snap. Um, we'll get straight into it with the graph because that's what guys like best. So graph's really good, cannot complain. Bit of a downswing last night in terms of all in EV, but in terms of in terms of actual dollars, but in all the EV, things are still going really well. We're having a fantastic win rate in all our games that we play, and we are also like 10 buy-ins below EV. So obviously not happy that we're below EV, but really happy with how things are going. Absolutely nothing to complain about whatsoever in that score. In terms of sessions, and actual dollars, we've made $483 in 25,000 hands. Could not be happier with that as well. And we are over $200 below EV. So really, again, not happy with below EV, but really happy with the fact that even though we are running significantly below EV, I'm still managing to play very near my best in more sessions. Obviously, we don't play stellar in every session, but overall playing really well. Incredibly happy with my mental game, and I'm going to state that in advance before I tell a little story from last night, because last night we had this session. First of all, I was watching Shrimpy's stream and I was grinding while I was watching, and we didn't do too well. And I finished his session not long before midnight because I intended to stop playing and join Shrimpy in trying to get a mid-X table going, mid-X stream table on Sky Midnight Express. It's a £20 hyper booking bounty tournament. Totally not my cup of tea, but I wanted to support his stream. I wanted to try and get on his table and have some fun with him. Didn't work because he's as useless as the rest of the fucking Sky streamers in organising fucking stream tables. But I managed to um, turn my £22 into, I don't know, 50 odd pound or something. So I made a few quid, not a lot, but I made a few quid in that. And I felt I played well in this session here, even though we didn't make money. I felt I played pretty well in the mid-X, even though I have no idea how to play a short stack. And I wanted to then go on and play another cash game session. I wanted to play 25 and L again, but when I went back, there was one player left in the pool, so that was a non-runner. So then it was like play 10 and L or play 50 and L. And I decided recklessly to decide. I thought, well, come on, let's play some 50 and L. I don't really want to be playing 10 and L at 2 in the morning on the back of like a $106 losing session. So I probably shouldn't have done it, but at the same time, if you're going to test yourself when you're playing well, it's the time to test yourself. I'm not planning on playing 50 and L at all for the coming weeks until it's not featuring my plans at all at the moment, but after what I saw last night, maybe it will in the medium term. So we had this result. I just played two hands so far this morning because I've already done all this part of the video once, but I realised I'd done it all on mute like a cunt. So I lost all the content. So so this was like my most recent session. This was at 50 and L, and it went well. It went really well. Why we were looking at this other feature is because I want to talk a little bit about three betting pre-flop, and I'm not an aggressive three better. As you can see, my average three bet is only 5%, and it's that number because I force myself sometimes to three bet hands that I don't really want to three bet from positions I don't really want to three bet, just to try and have a reasonable percentage. Which is fucking moronic in a way. It's not moronic because, you know, most people would say my three bet number is too low. But if it doesn't suit my style to have an aggressive pre-flop strategy and it puts me in spots I'm routinely uncomfortable in, then doing something just to kind of try and not get too far behind the trends in terms of percentages and three bet percentages, I don't know. It's not me. It's not how I do things. I've never been afraid to be an outlier in any like walk of life I've been in, whether that's in a workplace, whether that's as just in the community, whether that's in poker. I've always just been comfortable being myself, doing my own thing. Then for some reason, I listen to people who say I should three bet more, and then I 3-bet more and make myself feel uncomfortable. And the reason I listen to people is because I am careful who I talk to about poker. And lots of people are saying to me, of all these people I talk to, you need to 3-bet more, you need to 3-bet more, you need to 3-bet more. And if I didn't respect their advice, I wouldn't be talking to them in the first place. So I do from time to time be like, I'll defend my 3-bet position like I did with Duesenberg a couple of weeks ago. And then eventually I'll be like, well, maybe they're fucking right. Come on, try again, Reggie. And pretty much every time, my win rates are nowhere near as good, albeit over small samples, when I'm 3-betting a lot. And that isn't because I think it's a bad strategy. It's because I'm not well versed in post-flop strategy, out of position in 3-bet pots at small SPRs, which is frequently where I find myself, and 3-betting more from the small and big blind, with like ace highs, king highs, and things like that. And then get into flops where I miss. And then we have an SPR of like 4, and I'm like, well, now what? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll c-bet small. All right, they've called because I've c-bet small and they shouldn't fold a lot. Oh, I'll brick the turn now. What? And I lose confidence. I lose red line. It's just not me. It's just not how I enjoy to play poker. I would much rather flat some strong hands, and then play my stronger than anticipated range against my opponents. So my range is going to be then strong. If I'm flatting, my range is stronger than my opponents had anticipated to be. And also, I'm then playing that stronger range, unexpectedly stronger range, against my opponent, who all of a sudden hasn't folded out a lot of the crap that they would fold had I 3-bet. So I'm playing a theoretically underrepresented range against someone who's still got a lot of crap in their range, and they're also going to have the initiative, so they're going to be doing a lot more. They're going to be playing a lot more aggressively post flop with weaker parts of their range against stronger parts of my range. So to me, that makes sense for how I enjoy playing the game. We want to try and have stronger range than our opponents wherever we can. And if I'm flatting more strong hands and then getting to take them post flop in higher SPR spots against weaker ranges, to me, that feels better than 3-betting, forcing players to fold a lot of the crap from their range and then like be out of position against a stronger part of their range at a lower SPR. I'm sure there's counter arguments to that. In fact, I'm certain there will be. But that's why I don't like doing it, basically. And that's why I'm not going to be doing a lot of 3-betting at all this session. In fact, I'm probably going to go out of my way to 3-bet as little as possible this session, and hopefully get in some spots where I can demonstrate the counterpoint to we should 3-bet more. We'll go back and look at position just briefly, see how things are going. I've been playing a bit tighter this week, not deliberately, just how my game seems to have gone this week. This number isn't good enough. This raise first in needs to be higher from the button. This is improving. I think this is too high now. I think I've kind of played a little bit this week more like the types of players I've been criticising earlier in the week, where I haven't had the same good curve from early position to button. This is coming down a little bit, which I'm happy with. This number, I'd prefer it to be a bit lower. This number, definitely a bit lower. Happy with this number. This number needs to be higher. So I need to find more folds in middle position, in my opinion. I need to be finding more steals and more flats from the button. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on for the next few sessions. And hopefully things can go pretty well. The last thing we want to look at is our win rates per stake. So 10 crushing for 18 bigs at 10NL should be 21 bigs according to All in EV. 25NL just down at 2.5 bigs, which is disappointing, but All in EV, All in adjusted is 10 bigs over a small sample, and then we're just going to ignore this 50NL. So my goal is to start coaching again sometime towards the end of April, possibly earlier. If anyone reaches out to get in touch, I'm happy to start working with people as of now, but I'm going to start advertising my services once this gets to 50,000 hands, if I'm happy with my performance at 50,000 hands. If what we've done here is replicated, then I'll be absolutely smashing it all over the place, and I'll be spamming myself silly. If my win rate all in adjusted is like 8 bigs or higher across all stakes when I get to 50,000 hands, I'm going to be advertising my services. But if you can't wait until that point and you want to get in touch and have some sessions with me, please do so now. I'm changing my payment. I'm changing my model. Last time I used to say like it was 20. Sorry, 5 sessions for I think it was $100. I think I'm a better player than I was then. I think I'm a better option than I was then. It's just going to be 5 hours for £100, no discounts for like block booking or anything like that. And if you want a taster session first, the first session will be £25. And if you want to then take up the next 4 sessions, you will then get the next 4 sessions for £75. So if you are interested in jumping the gun and doing some work with me early, then please reach out. And if you're not, please enjoy the rest of the video anyway. We'll be along in just a second with some 10NL snap for perhaps another 40 minutes or so. So here we go, right from the start, you're in. Apart from those 2 hands we played earlier when I was fucking recording when muted like a prick. So let's see what the 10NL streets are going to bring us this morning. It brought us a walk so far and people tank folding, which isn't ideal. So we're going to wait until the action's on us in almost every spot now, unless our hand is just so bad. I think that's a leak of mine in Snap. I get more volume because I do a lot more Snap folding, but I think we're going to just wait every hand, unless it's just like going to be an absolute auto fold, like 7 deuce off, queen 5 off, those types of things. We're going to just be Snap folding, but anything remotely playable, I'm going to wait till it's on us and see what's developed. And hopefully that way we can improve our race first in from small blinds and buttons. Five-X open. It's interesting. We're going to set mine here in position versus a pretty wild-looking player. Get a pretty disappointing flop. Going to open the ace-5 off against someone who just is super unlikely to 3-bet versus us. We're not going to c-bet we're not going to stab with the 5s versus this wild player's check back. We are going to c-bet the middle pair here. It's a good board for us to c-bet dry, queen, low, low. I'm going to keep checking the pocket 5s and just hope to get to showdown. We now turn a river straight, which is nice. And we are not going to raise here. We're just going to call. And we maybe could have got some value on a raise, but never mind. And we get rivered by the 10-8, which decided to just float that flop, which is meh, but whatever. I think maybe looking back, we could have raised those 5s on the river. I just didn't want to open myself up to a 3-bet from a player who looked wild. I think we can certainly get some value. I think we put a small raise in, we can certainly get some value. But I didn't think he had the ace-X. He 3-bet pre, and then he just didn't stab either street. So it felt to me like he was either bluffing or he had a really big hand and just like most of the time just bluffing. And we wouldn't get called by worse. But that's probably a mistake by me. I think we should definitely have raised that river. Still continue checking with our ace high. Good showdown value. No reason to turn it into a bluff. Here we would flatten the button with just a lot of players, but against fuck you or fuck your children Ritter, we're just going to fold because he doesn't have enough chips to appeal to me in terms of like post-up play. He's got 38 bigs left after he's open. And we have a hand where if we flop top pair, we're not guaranteed to be in great shape, but we might end up having to go for all these 30-odd bigs because the SPR will get pretty small pretty quickly. So we have a flop here that we're not in love with. Usually I would raise here because someone's min donking on a board that heavily favours our range. So that would usually be a board that I would raise on, but because Ritter's called 2, we're not going to raise, but we're certainly not going to fold. Here we can't fold just yet. And we're just going to keep trying to get to showdown here with our queens versus these min bets. Our opponent could well have an 8. Right, we'll go back and look at this in just a moment. We're going to go back and look at this in a moment because I think it's interesting. Here we just got an easy fold. So we're going to sit out next hand because I want to talk about that Queen Jack hand. We've been min 3 bet here by someone who's either misclicked or is a fucking idiot. Could be either. We've not flopped a set, so we are going to be out, and we're going to be out with the 9-7 clubs. I'm going to fold that. Right, so let's go back to this. Can we make this smaller? Yes, we can. This Queen Jack. So, don't check all fucking day, please. So we raise pre, our opponent calls. We get also mandatory c-bet on the flop. He calls. Turn. I don't really see much value in betting anymore. I mean, we're going to value on ourselves against 8x. Because we have a queen, there's a queen on the board. Queen X isn't going to be a big part of his range. So I think on balance, this is a spot where we want to be checking a lot of turns. I mean, if we had some bluffs, if we had like Jack 10 here, I would continue betting. If we had like Jack 9, I would continue betting. If we had some flush draws, I would continue betting. So maybe we need to continue betting some of our Queen X because otherwise our turn betting range is just going to be like pretty much 8x and maybe some like aces and what have you. So maybe we should continue betting this turn. I'm not sure, but it felt safer to me just to check because getting raised at this point would kind of suck because I'd probably have to fold, but I think we could still have the best hand sometime. I don't know. It's a bit early in the morning. Maybe I'm not at my peak yet, but when he bets just 30 cents, it's an easy call. And River, yeah, I'm not happy with how I played that hand. I think we should probably continue betting the turn at a higher frequency than perhaps I was prepared to. His turn bet with 6-6 is just worse than anything I've done in the hand. And yeah, so wake up, Reggie. Wake up. I'm not happy with that hand. Not happy with that hand at all. 5-6 suited with 3 regulars to go behind and an unknown who may be a regular. We're not going to open 6-side from middle position. We have opened 5-3 suited here. Pretty good board for our range. Because I'm only going to fire 1 bet and be done here, we're going to go big. If we're planning on firing multiple streets, I would not have bet that big, but it's very much a one and done spot with 5 high. Our opponent calls, and we're done with it. We're shutting down, and we're still done with it. And somehow we managed to win, which is quite remarkable. What the fuck? Jack 9. Okay, so he called with a good shot and then showed no intention, no compulsion to bluff, despite the fact we took the weakest line ever. Right. Not sure what's happening here, but if I somehow... Oh, we're disconnected from the internet. This is happening quite a lot lately, and I don't know why. But hopefully we get back in, because we've got 2 hands we want to play. A few. Calling here. 4 betting here. So thankfully our disconnect didn't do us any harm there. We've been jammed on, so we're going to call here in just a moment. We're going to fold the 10s. Run into aces. Would have been better if we had fucking disconnected, but never mind. 10 ball. Nope, no 10 ball. So that's unfortunate, but when we get 5 bets shoved on in these games, we're going to see We're going to see better hands than kings at a fair frequency, especially from somebody who's playing. Oh, my HUD started it. Was it actually? Were we actually playing the right guy there? Yeah, we were. So all of a sudden now my HUD isn't keeping up because we've disconnected, and the whole thing's been a massive fucking clusterfuck right now. We're going to have to sit out next big blind or cash games. And we're going to have to close Triple A, we're going to have to close hold and manager, then we're going to have to reload them to have our HUD working again. All because we temporarily disconnected, which is really fucking annoying. Notice how professional I am though. I'm still playing around to my blinds, even though I'm a little bit triggered by recent events. I don't know anything about either of these players now. We don't have HUD stats. I think we're probably going to see bet this flop. Queen low low. Only really good shots out there in terms of draws and a flush draw. We get called in check raise because our morning's just going to be shit by the look of things. In all, so far, what's happened this morning? We have recorded 13 minutes of video on mute, tilting. We've ran kings into aces, tilting. We've had a mini disconnect, tilting, and now we've got to reload everything because our HUD stopped working because of the disconnect. So basically, we're a fucking shit tilting morning. Hopefully, the next 20 to 25 minutes of this video will soothe me somewhat, and I'm grateful it's only 10 and now we ran kings into aces. So let's be grateful for very small mercies. So we're back, and things are working as they should again. I've been 3-bet small by an unknown player. I'm not one for defending versus 3-bet super wide, but I think this is just too small, and I'm keen to see a flop in position. He doesn't bet. We have a pair and a flush draw, so we've no reason to bet really. We're happy just to take a free card, see what happens. Easy call here against someone who might be a maniac. And we river trips, which is fucking beautiful. I'm a bit concerned he might have a full house here, but we have trips and we can get value from a lot here because tons and tons of draws have missed. So going for a raise. Our friend here didn't value bet the turn, so we're going to block the river, and he folds. What did our friend up here have? Ace Queen. Do not like his flop c-bet, his flop check. Don't like his line much at all there. But we'll certainly take what was a very, very useful river. I'm going to open the Queen 8 into someone who's playing just 35 bigs. Look at me playing 35-31 over 56 hands. What a lag beast I am. A gut shot here and a backdoor flush draw. We have flopped trips here, so we're going to lead out. I'm going to check call here. It's not a board I'm going to be c-betting with a high frequency blind versus blind. Don't think we get many folds. We don't have much equity when we get called, and it's nice to check these boards with a pretty high frequency in general. With all our range, so we can have some nice check calls, some check raises, some check folds, etc., rather than just always c-betting our strong hands and checking our weekends. And we're going to check call this river, I think. I think it's too thin for value now, but our opponent can certainly have some misdraws that want to bet. So we call he has ace-10. Nice answer. We're going to continue betting this turn against someone who... Oh, against two players. Aha. Well, we still would have continued betting, but it's much thinner when we're betting into two players than it is betting into one player. Didn't realize we've been called in two spots there. That's a pretty bad river. We're going to hope to just show our hand down now. And don't like the fact the flushes come in, but we do block some flushes, so they're not going to have as many flushes. Same hand against this guy. Oh, we weren't in no shape against him because we were chopping from the off. He's going to fold the queen 10 on the ace 5-5 flop. No pair, no draw, no backdoor even. Again, it's a hand I'd love to play on the button, but against this absolute cunt bag who buys in short, then our hand significantly goes down in value. 3-bet here, we're out of position, we're just going to fold. You don't catch a Reggie set mining in 3-bet pots unless we are mega deep and the bet's too small. I'm just not into set mining out of position at all, really. I'm going to call here with our backdoor equity, what still might be the best hand, etc. Going to could 3-bet or flat here, or we could just time out. I mean, that's pretty cool as well. Why did my fucking time bank kick in there? That's annoying. That's pretty fucking annoying. I think I was probably going to go with the 3-bet there because of having two regs in the blinds. I think we would have flatted had there been some fish in the blinds. But generally, timing out is not GTO. Going to bet 3 streets here, hope not to get raised. We get donked into, which is interesting. Really can't be asked raising and getting 3 bets, so we're just going to call. If he continues betting, we're just going to continue calling. If he checks, then we're going to start betting and hope not to get raised. I mean, he shouldn't have much deuce X in his limp calling range from the small blind, but up to now he's played 80% of hands, so who knows? And what do you know? He had the Jack 5. Nice answer. Again, we could 3-bet or flat here. I'm going to go with the flat. Lots of players would definitely 3-bet there. Getting very dicey situation here. If he barrels it, if he jams his turn, we're folding because we've got the player behind to worry about too. Make a loose open from the cutoff with the 8-9 off because of this guy in the small blind. And we're going to fold the Queen Jack. Facing the button. 2.5x. Sadly, we don't get what we want, which was this guy calling. We do instead pick up a call from the big blind. And again, because we're going to be one and no. I think we just go with our usual small bet here against a regular. We're not going to upsize. Against a fish, maybe I would. I'd be one and done against a fish using a larger sizing. Against someone who might be a regular, we're just going to go with our range bet size instead. Lots of players would want to 3-bet the 9s here. I'm not one of them. We get a disappointing flop, but never mind. Here we're going to call because we have this guy in the big blind who just played the Jack 5 earlier. Sadly, we completely miss and we're forced to give up. We've rivered a full set here, which is nice. And I'd be betting pretty big here with my Jack Queen, with my missed diamonds, etc. So we're going to bet pretty big for value. And we get a snap call, which is nice. And we got a snap call from just pocket 8, which I think is maybe ambitious. Not opening the ace 9 into those opponents behind us. We are going to try and isolate with this ace 4 suited. We get called. We get a pretty disappointing flop. Just a backdoor wheel draw. 8 high boards. I'm checking behind a lot, so we're not going to do anything different here other than check behind. Now the king comes on the turn, we're just going to double barrel and try and get him to fold some better ace highs and some small to medium pocket pairs. Can't just fire once here because he might still call us with some ace highs and with some pocket 6s, etc. Not in love with the spade coming, but I don't think he's going to have flushes very often. So we're going to go with a large bet just to try and put maximum pressure on his better ace highs and all these pocket pairs that haven't improved, and we take it down. Versus someone who's playing 10-6 over 100 hands, king queen offset, easiest fold of my life. Ace king is going to be trivial ISO raise. Here we're going to lead out with our flopped trips. Here multi-way, we're just giving up with the ace king. Turn a full house over here, which is absolutely delightful. Beautiful, we get raised. So we're going to call here and we're going to check shove all rivers. And if we're cooled, then fuck our lives. We are cooled. Hope he has king queen here, or ace jack, or jack queen. Bet big once with the ace queen, with the queen 8, and we take it down. And we have cooled the shit out of him with his pocket 10s, which is fucking beautiful. That was fun. Not going to be doing too much with our gut shot here on a paired board. Turn a pair, which gives us some showdown value. Still absolutely no good reason for betting whatsoever. It starts to get dicey now if somebody bets. I'd love to see it check through again. Yeah, versus that size we can't fold. He's getting too good of a price. Although I think we're going to be getting owned a decent amount by some better queen X. Obviously ace X. But instead we just win. What did he try and bluff the turn with there, multi-way? Yeah, not a fan, sir. I'm not a fan. I think it's a spot where we have to squeeze. Again, I'm not in love with 3-betting out of position. But I think we just have to squeeze here with the ace queen. Hope to take it down, which we do. Lots of players will be interested in 3-betting 2-10s here. Again, I'm not one of them. I'll be calling twice here, then making a decision on the river. He checks. We're going to check back, and that seems like a nice river. If he bets big here, then I think we're going to raise and get really sad if he jams on us. I think race folds the line here. I think he barrels a lot of flush draws on the turn. So I don't think he's going to have flushes very often. But if he bet 3 bets, then he probably just has a flush. But you can certainly bet call with a lot of worse hands there. Not going to defend the... Oh, no, we're not, because he hasn't got enough chips. We stuck around here because if he called, we would have defended the Jack 7 suited. But given he didn't, given the whale didn't come along, then we're out stabbing the A-side board, as we should with most of our range. He calls. Just giving up now. Again here, we're sticking around with the Jack 10 because we want to try and play a pot with this guy if we can. Happy to fly out the small blind to try and play a pot with this guy. If he squeezes, then we're out. It's not particularly exciting flop. This guy shouldn't c-bet this board. Shouldn't c-bet too often here, given this guy in the big blind. I kind of want to attack this sizing because it doesn't make sense to want to c-bet this size multi-way with this guy in the pot. So his size isn't making a lot of sense, but we'll let it go. Because of the guy in the big blind. Only completing here because this guy's such a nit, he's going to let us complete a lot. Here we're going to kick it off with a lead with our flush draw and gut shot. We're going to certainly fire the turn. I'm not going to 4-bet the ace queen against this opponent, and we get called in 2 spots again, and we completely brick out. So we're done with the 7-3 suited that's missed. This guy decided just to not raise ace king, which seems very shit. Here, 8-3-8 against this guy who's got a 91% c-bet. We are not going anywhere. And now we're not going anywhere, period. Folding the pause down the button versus all regulars. And now we chop with a lot of aces, which is really quite disappointing against this guy, but he decides just to give up. And he had 2 9s. Don't love his double barrel there. I think his flop c-bet's fine, but his barrel is highly ambitious. Here we're going to flat the 9-7 suited, unless this guy 3-bets, which I think there's a good chance he might. He doesn't though. We've got a absolutely useless flop. So we are out of here, but not before we give this player the yellow tag. Turn a flush draw, but on a paired board multi-way, we're not at all excited about it. Given we've already recorded for 41 minutes, we're not going to reach the 400 hands in this video, I don't think. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll get to 400. Definitely going to be opening the 7-8 off on the button if this guy folds into two pretty tight players. This guy had more money, we would flat here, but he doesn't, so we won't. Wow, this guy's just 6.5x under the gun. Fuck knows what this means. Fuck knows what it means. I guess we might end up finding out what it means. Do we raise now, or do we continue just calling? He checks. I'll be honest, I've no fucking clue what's going on in this hand. I suspect if we get raised here, we're probably absolutely dead. Not anymore. Not anymore. I mean, I literally couldn't tell you what I think this guy has here. I suspect he probably has a pretty weak ace-high type hand, so we're going to bet pretty small and just try and force him to call with his like ace-king, etc. And if he had better than ace-king, then we'd miss value. Pocket sixes. What the actual fuck? 6.5x pre-C bet. Check call, check call. Yeah. Not sure how to analyse that without saying things that might be offensive, so we won't bother saying anything. Be annoyed if Ritter 3 bets, but he doesn't. We're about to run into aces again for the second time today. No, we're not. Happy days. Things are going fine. That's 3 10s. Sadly, we do not get to execute a check raise. What a dirty, dirty river. And we have a pretty easy bet fold. And win. Here we call and win. Now, one at Showdown is going to be pretty fucking hot this session, isn't it? What did our opponent have there? 8-9. Ah, that wasn't one we wanted to look at. This was the one we wanted to look at, wasn't it? Ace 7. That is one mighty ambitious call, sir, on that, bud. No, we're not going to get close to 400 hands, are we? We're not going to get close. Maybe some check raising here versus some small bets. Problem is we don't have a big enough sample size, really. We just have like backdoor straights, backdoor flushes. Yeah, I think we will. We will go for a check raise and we'll blast any turn that improves our equity if we get called and don't improve our equity on the turn, we'll just shut down. So we're approaching 50 minutes of recording, so I think we'll call the session. A 50-minute video seems plenty enough content. With 4 betting here, if Whiskey Biz, who I think's a decent enough regular for these games, 3 bets us. Not put to that test though. So let's just see how that session went, just because I think it's going to be remarkably good at Showdown. So we again ran below EV. We were $8 up for that very short session. Again, significantly below EV. Wow, we only won dollars at Showdown 42%. Doesn't seem right. That's because I'm looking at the wrong fucking thing. Come on, Reg, get your fucking act together, you muppet. Yes, we won $27 that session, sorry, and we won 72% of the showdown, having gone to showdown 51% of the time. So that was certainly a lot of heat that session. And I, for one, I'm not complaining. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed the video. I am starting to think about getting back into coaching again. So if you want to get ahead of some other players, then please do get in touch, and I'll be delighted to hear from you. I'm going to start including my email address in the YouTube videos again, in case you're not on Facebook. So if you do want to get in touch, hit me up with an email or through Facebook about getting some sessions, and I'd be delighted to hear from you. But we're going to leave it there. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. We're back on Monday with another video. Have a great weekend, everyone. Take care, stay safe, etc. And bye-bye for now.